I'm 24, single mom of 2, and I just lost everything. Went through a very, very ugly divorce, walked away with absolutely nothing but my 2 precious children. When I decided to leave, he decided to take everything. I left with absolutely nothing to my name.
4 years after divorce, she never expected life to be this bad. Like the video, subscribe, stay on the path of progress. Let's get into it.
I'm 24, single mom of 2, and I just lost everything. Hi, my name's Bria. Nice to meet you.
Hi,
That
nice
was
to meet
me about 3.5 years ago. Went through a very, very ugly divorce, walked away with absolutely nothing but my 2 precious children, and I'd do it all over again. So, little bit about me. I was a very successful destination wedding photographer and built my business from the ground up. I ended up buying a beautiful horse property house to raise my children at, and realized that the person I was with was not the person that I should be spending my life with. So I decided to file for divorce. Well, me being me, having a huge heart of gold, I decided my money was our money. And he decided his money was his money. So I opened a joint bank account that had all of our money in it. I paid for the down payment of the house.
Okay.
Girls, learn from me and do not make my mistake. So, when I decided to leave, he decided to take everything. I left with absolutely nothing to my name. I left in a U-Haul. I moved from California to Florida in a U-Haul. And no car, because he wanted to make sure all the cars were in his name and not mine, aka power. Do not let a man do that to you, okay? Make sure you are on there as a co-signer. You're on there just by yourself. Well, me being me and me being young, thinking love is love and no one would do anything to hurt you, false. So, I left with about $10,000 to my name, a U-Haul full of everything, and my 2 children.
Did you guys notice she didn't even mention anything wrong that the guy did? She just said that, oh, he's not the love of my life anymore, so I'm just gonna go ahead and nuke my relationship. Didn't seem like he was necessarily a bad guy or anything like that. Her emotions were just off for a little while. Okay, my emotions are off, time to send in the nuke, let's wreck the family. And this right here is why women that are obsessed with their emotions are a red flag. Because of things like this, oh, you're just a little bit unhappy for a little bit of time. Okay, let's nuke the family. But what you need is a woman that has strong values. She needs to have strong morals. Because a marriage or a long-term relationship should be built on a mutual duty to serve one another. That's what it is. It's just another reason why so many relationships fail, because they're just obsessed with whatever the emotions are. But the thing is, a lot of people don't realize that the emotions, they go up and down. They really do. But this is why it should be based on being in service to one another and being in service to the family. Anyway, we got more. Let's keep going.
I spent about 4 months using my double stroller as a car for 4 months, I would say. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with a blow-up mattress for another 4 months because it took a while for me to get from absolutely nothing back on my feet, because mind you, I lost my photography business as well because of COVID. So COVID happened, weddings got shut down, I stepped away. So now here's this single mom of 2, basically homeless, thinking life is never going to get better. How did I get here and how do I get out of it? So there was days, weeks, months where I'm crying my eyes out because I didn't have enough to buy food just for breakfast. I didn't have enough for anything. And I'm just here to tell you that if you keep pushing and you keep believing in yourself, everything's going to be okay. It's going to work out in your favor. I'm still not, now I'm 27, so 3.5 years later, because I'm going to be 28 in like 2 days, but I'm still not where I want to be in life. However, I'm a lot closer to where I want to be in life because of the fact that no matter how impossible it felt, I refused to give up. I refused to take the easy way out and just say, this is the cards that God gave me. No, I said, I don't like these cards and I'm going to do everything in my power to get out of this. So if you need support, if you need help, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me because I love supporting other females. If you need a job, I'm hiring. I will give you a job. Like, literally anything that you need, I will help you with, because I've been there and I had absolutely no one and it sucked. So this is just your reminder to keep going no matter how hard it gets.
This very specific situation is kind of difficult for me to comment on, quite honestly, because it's very vague and we don't have any of the guy's side whatsoever. I don't understand. So did the guy like steal the money from the bank account? Is that what it is? If it's his children and you got divorced, there should be some alimony or spousal support or something like that. Leaving them just completely flat broke is kind of messed up. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. But still, it's difficult to comment on without more details. But the thing is, bro, she initiated it. She initiated this entire situation. She wanted to be Miss Strong Independent Boss Babe, so nukes the family, they go financially broke, and now she's in this awful situation. And I'm not even excusing this guy's behavior at all, but it's more difficult to comment on because I don't have the details. Because if this guy left his 2 children flat broke without anything to fend for themselves, dude, that's scummy as hell. She's lying for real. California would have given her more than half in the divorce court. She said she bought the horse property, yet walks away completely in California. Yeah, no, I call BS. No car or money? Really? Again, BS. Also took his kids and ran to another state, tearing the kids away from their father. All I hear is a horrible wife and a horrible mother in this story. Well, there's definitely a perspective. I mean, it could just be genuine lying. Blondie was living off the husband. Of course she had nothing to leave with. The joint account was his money. That could definitely be the truth, because I mean, how much do destination photographers really make? Like, are they making the huge mega bucks where they can afford a big property like that? I don't know about that, bro. Didn't have money for food? She just said she had 10 grand. Yeah, man, this is definitely a very suspicious one. I think there's a lot of details being intentionally left out. She went from left with nothing to my name to left with 10 grand and a U-Haul full of stuff. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of plot holes with this one. A lot of the guys in the comments are calling it out, but that's a very interesting one for sure, so be sure to leave your comments below. Now let's get on with the show.
I was celibate for a year and a half while I was traveling the world, and I fell into it accidentally, but I want to talk about my journey. I think everybody should be celibate at least once in their life. I started traveling April of 22. I met my brother, I went to Greece, and boy, was I the opposite of celibate. I had my legs cracked open like the doors to a museum. Come and look at this art, baby. And after about 2.5 months in Europe, I flew to Canada to work there for a couple of months. About a month and a half in, I was like, ooh, getting dry. We're shifting from waterfall to desert. When I tell you, I didn't even realize that I wasn't getting any. I forgot it actually existed. And in the moment that I realized I had forgotten it existed, I started reflecting on my life a little. I looked around and I went, this kind of rocks. My life kind of top tier right now. And I realized removing sex from the equation was one of the contributing factors in my happiness. So I decided to stay celibate through many obstacles. My God. I did have moments where I was like, is this worth it? Because Jesus Christ. Because I was in the most beautiful places in the world with the most beautiful people from around the world. And there were times where I thought, am I missing out? But I'll tell you why I stayed celibate. The first reason is while I was in Sydney and I was getting drunk all the time, I didn't have the best lifestyle. I realized that I was getting used often. That I would sleep with somebody and feel like I was giving a part of myself to them and never hear from them again. I felt like an instrument to their satisfaction and not like a real human being with a soul. And I didn't want to feel like an object anymore. Second reason is it allowed me room to grow and learn about myself as a human, which was the whole reason I traveled in the first place. And it allowed me to really go inwards and facilitate introspection without worrying about the male gaze. I didn't realize how much the male gaze and me worrying about men's perception of me would actually impact my choices and my lifestyle and the way I dress and what I do. It is crazy. So when I removed that from my life, I became so much more independent. I leaned into my authentic self. I felt like I could be my fun, energetic self, which isn't always appealing to men. Third reason I decided to stay celibate is because my girl's health, oh my God, and my physical health improved drastically. When I was hooking up with people regularly, I always had tonsillitis. I was always sick. Down here wasn't great. Because one factor is your partner can spread infection and disease to all parts of your body. But also two, often your body
how many
actually
guys did
rejects
she
the
go
person,
through?
and that sometimes manifests as illness in your body. Can I just say, since then, never had a scent problem. This is clean down there, babe. And the fourth reason is that I actually want a relationship, and you would be surprised when you take off the table. It weeds out all the bad people so quickly. I only want you for that. As I was traveling, I would start seeing people, I would tell them that I was celibate, and you would watch how quickly those people leave your life, and the people that are actually interested in you, they stay. Lastly, I realized that that act is a very intimate and spiritual thing for me, and I want it to be with somebody that I love and with somebody that cares about me, because it is so much better that way anyway. It was such a beneficial year and a half for me and my development and growth as a person.
Wow, there is a lot there. One thing, but isn't it just fascinating how we're able to see stuff like this online? The amount of like psychological tests that you can do, the psychological experiments, the psychological exposure that you're getting to female nature these days is crazy levels. You probably wouldn't have been able to see anything like this at any other time in history. It's just fascinating. Let's dive into this a little bit. So one, it's like she was painting a picture that she was getting with so many guys that it was affecting her health. Can we just pause on that and give it a whole big fat yikes? Like, bro, what? And the thing is, man, I have no problem with women wanting to stay celibate. I have no issue with it. The thing I have an issue with is like, you gave it up to potentially, like, she makes it seem like it's 100+ guys. Let's keep it real. She gives it up to 100 guys for basically nothing in return. And now she expects this next guy to wait all of this time, like, oh no, I'm all pure now. I don't do it anymore. I'm a good girl. Like, no, no, bro. You can't just erase your past. That's not how it works. So it's like, good, you are saving yourself to find the right man. But it's like, you should have done that before. You should have started all the way back here from the very start, and you should have done that before, because it's like, I don't know any kind of self-respecting man that would put up with that kind of behavior. It's like, oh yeah, no, I got completely run through where it literally affected my health. I was unhealthy with the amount of guys that I went through. So automatically you are writing off all of these potentially good guys. And the only guys that would accept something like that are, honestly, they're terminal betas. Terminal betas, or super ignorant, or just a generally low value man.
If at any point in your 20s you are feeling sad about being single, think, would I rather have found my person, the love of my life, at 18 or at 30? And I always think, oh my God, at 30. Because, and this is no hate to people who found the love of their life at 18.
So you can get run through
but
for 12 years.
I think it stunts a little something. And I'm so happy to have had single years in my 20s.
This is a huge thing that you'll hear over and over again, that women need to go out there and find themselves. Oh, they need to have experiences. They need to know who they are. She needs to find what she likes. This is all speech of the 304. Only the 304s talk like this, genuinely. There's no evidence that says women need to be run through before they get into a long-term relationship. Nothing backs that up.
Rant, okay? Just a little rant. Dating in LA sucks. Not only am I only attracted to like 2% of people on these dating apps, and you would think in LA you'd have more options, but I promise you, you do not. Nobody is actually looking to literally seriously date. Either looking to hook up or looking to act like they are trying to date you and say all this when they're not, when they're just bored. I get it. I'm bored sometimes too. But if you're looking to hook up, just say you're looking to hook up, because like, I'm not necessarily opposed to it, you know? I had my whole phase. I had my phase of going out and getting drunk and partying and hooking up with all these people. I had that. And it's boring now, and I'm over it. It's not fun anymore. It's the same thing over and over. How cute my pants are. They say hungover and gorgeous, even though I did absolutely nothing last night. I need a connection, you know? Like, these hookups are so boring. They're so boring. I'm in like my little villain era. Like, if you're not gonna wine and dine me, then next. If you're not gonna treat me like the princess I deserve to be treated like, I don't want you.
She's
if
a
you're
princess.
not obsessed with me, I don't want you. And that's weird saying that out loud because I have a stalker that was obsessed with me. But you know what I mean. Why is it so hard to find a guy that will actually put in time and effort? I am the tequila. I am not the lime. I am the chased, not the chaser, okay? I am never, ever in my life wasting my time on a boy again. You tell me and you show me you want me, or I'm on to the next one, because I tell you, I got a lot of people waiting. I actually take that back. They're not waiting. I've been talking to them too, because I knew the chances of one person actually committing is 0. Goodbye. I love being a hopeless romantic in LA. It's great.
That's a big yikes, dude. She's a princess. She's a princess, dude. That's what a princess looks like today. Oh my God. This is supposedly what a princess is today in Los Angeles. Basically every red flag in the book. Jesus. You can see in the eyes, man. The soul is gone. Dude, I know that sounds super harsh, but you can see it, dude. You can see it. They call it the 1,000 stare. So let me just break this down for the new guys on why body count is such a huge deal. In order for women to have the bedroom fun, they have to be emotionally attached to that man, okay? Not only to get into the bedroom, but after the bedroom fun, she is even more emotionally attached to you. But what happens is when you have this intense emotional connection and it gets broken for whatever reason, the guy ghosts her, stops talking to her, whatever the reason is, and then she does that again to another guy. But this time the attachment isn't as strong. Let's say in the beginning it's a 100% attachment, okay? The second time she attaches on to another guy and she detaches, now it's at like 90%, okay? You do this over and over, attaching, unattaching, attaching, unattaching. That percentage of emotional attachment that she's able to express with that man, it just goes lower and lower and lower to the point where she cannot emotionally bond anymore. Yes, that is how severe it is, and that's why it is such a big deal. And then when that happens, you see women like this, okay? And I don't want to, I don't want to be like mean to this girl. I don't know who this is. I don't really care how you live your life either. You do you. But you see girls like this, and they have essentially, it's like a shattered soul. Genuinely. Because those emotional attachments that she has are so spread out. It's like you are scattered. And that's really why women need to be hyper critical with who they have bedroom fun with.
I still stand by the fact that my husband is the ugliest man that I have ever met 5 years into our marriage. If you are single right now, it's because you want to be attracted to your partner, and that is just not realistic. I don't know how many times women on this app are going to have to say it. Find an ugly man and marry him. And I'm not talking about a guy that just needs a little brush up, okay? I'm talking about a terminally unattractive man. I sleep with an eye mask at night so that I have time in the morning to mentally prepare before I make eye contact with my husband. But here I am, married, and you're not, so who's laughing?
This is not what you think it is, because your husband wants you to be attracted to him. He doesn't want to hear that his wife has to wear an eye mask in order to prepare herself to see him in the morning. That's wild. And it's not like the stories where the woman meets a man and she's not initially attracted to him, but because she gets to know him and his personality and then like things happen. That really does happen. But that means that she becomes physically attracted to him. It does not mean that she has to talk herself and mentally prepare herself to see him.
That is definitely a yikes, man. I mean, publicly shaming her husband. But this one to me is pretty obvious. She married the beta Bob. She married the beta provider. That's it. The guy didn't have an ounce of the qualities of the alpha Adam. He wasn't tall. He wasn't in shape. He wasn't handsome. He didn't have any of the charm, any of the style. None of it. All he had was the beta provisioning. And that's it. And the thing is, man, I don't think these women understand that when they are doing this, they are disrespecting themselves at the same time. Don't you realize that? You are putting him on stage, clowning him, making him a fool, shaming him, and you decided to marry him. You decided to marry this clown, this unattractive guy. So what does that say about you? Because she could respect this guy. At least she could say, okay, well, he's not the most attractive, but he takes care of me, he takes care of the family, he provides for us. Thank you. I'm grateful. But no, I'm just gonna publicly shame you on TikTok. Yikes, dude.
Man, I know that there is corn pushed to young men on this app, but it is so blatant at this point. I hit not interested or swipe past every single OF ad I see. Now instead of even allowing me to hit not interested, you just remove the not interested and put interested. Why is that even an option? I can like it, comment, save it,
no way,
DM
really?
it, whatever. Why would you remove the not interested button? And then not only that, but then you put the not interested button on things that I am interested in. I need it to make sense.
Because all of it is just a cycle, bro. Like, this is why so many guys have such a hard time quitting the spicy content. It's because it's everywhere. It's around every single turn. Like, really, so many people have no idea how sexualized America is and Western societies are. It is literally everywhere, dude. And that's why, man, if you're having a hard time with, quitting content like this, you have to go no contact with shit like this. I'm not kidding, bro. You really have to take it that seriously. If you have issues with this, get off social media. Get off of any type of platform that is constantly advertising this to you. If you're on the app, unfollow all of the women on there, okay? I'm not even kidding. This might sound extreme, but this is what you have to do to get this shit out of your life. Because that's what all of this stuff does, man. It keeps you in the cycle. So you're watching like Twitch, you're watching Instagram Reels, you're watching TikToks, whatever it is. You're just on there for a little bit of entertainment, maybe talking with friends or whatever it is. One of these OF ads pop up, you see a little bit of booty, and then all of a sudden you're on the hub. You have to cut this out of your life, bro. You have to cut it right from the stem. Don't get into the cycle to begin with. Like the video, subscribe, stay on the path of progress. I'll see you later.